All right, we're going to start our second drawing that has to do with circles. So first thing we're going to need to do is start a new drawing, open it up. Make sure you have your grid on, your snap on, you want the ortho off, and you want the object snap off. So make sure you have these two guys on, okay? For this one, we are going to have to change our grid and our snap size. So we're going to come down here to our snap, and we're going to right click and go to snap settings. Both snap and grid settings are on the same page, so that's really nice. Our grid setting needs to be 0.25, so this is our grid right here. So we want it 0.25, and it'll automatically update both. It keeps it the same. And then our snap needs to be 0.125, so 0.125 for both. All right, so once we have that set up, click OK. You'll notice our grid is a bit smaller, and that's just going to help us become a little bit more precise. So this next drawing, we're actually going to draw a wheel, and we're going to draw it from looking at it up front, so the front of it to where it's nice and flat, and then the side view. So we're actually going to draw two different views for this. So the first thing we're going to do is the very easy front view. It consists of 3 circles. We are going to need the circle diameter, so make sure you click on diameter here. Then we are going to, our first point, the center of our first drawing is going to be 3.5, comma 4.5. So I'm going to do 3.5, comma 4.5, enter. That's going to be the center of our first drawing, first circle. We're going to start with the large outer circle, and then we're going to do the 2 smaller ones. So the large outer circle has a diameter of 6, enter. So that's our large circle. I'm going to double click the mouse scrolling wheel to zoom in, or you can click the zoom extend here, and that kind of zooms in, just so we have a little bit better view. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my inner circle. So I'm going to come up here to the circle diameter tool. I want the same center point, so 3.5, comma 4.5, enter. And then the inside of this one is actually going to be 4, enter. Now, so that's our wheel, starts to kind of look like a wheel. And then in the very center, we're going to have another small circle. So same coordinates, so 3.5, comma 4.5, enter. And then the actual dimensions or diameter of this one is 0.25. It's very small. So this is the surface view of our wheel. The next we're going to draw a side view, and that's going to be over here. So I'm going to use my pan tool real quick and just kind of move my drawing over. Right click and exit. So the corner of our side view is actually going to be the coordinates 9.5 by 1.5, and we're going to do that with a rectangle because we're looking at the side of the wheel. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and I'm going to put in 9.5 comma 1.5, enter. So that gives the starting point. So for this one, it does not tell us where the other coordinate is. We have to kind of measure and figure that out. So the wheel itself is 1.5 in thickness. So we're going to move our mouse over, and if you notice the numbers highlighted in blue are changing, and since our snap is set at 0.25, it's going up by 1/4 of an inch. So we need over to where it says 1.5 right there. And the height of this is actually the height of the wheel, which is 6. So we want to keep it at 1.5. So I'm just double checking my counts. So we want to keep it at 1.5, and we want to go up to 6. So 1.5 by 6, and then select. So this is the side view of the wheel. Now there are going to be some parts that are kind of sticking out, and we're going to see those here in a second. So we're going to have another rectangle, and this rectangle tool is going to allow us to draw, we need a 0.5 rectangle on this side and a 0.5 rectangle on this side, and they need to be centered. And they are the inner circle. We're drawing this circle right here, but this view. So it's 4 tall in the center, So if it's 4 tall and the big wheel is 6, that means we need to go up 1 on each side. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. I'm going to go, this is 1.5, I need to go up to 2.5 right there. It's only 0.5 in thickness, and it's going to go up. Whoa, sorry about that. Okay, back to what I was doing. All right, so we found our point. It's up 1. So we're going to go over 0.5 and, oops, make sure it's 0.5. This could be a little confusing. This is why you really want your coordinates on. Okay, 0.5 by 4. That's how the height is going to be. So we actually need an identical one on this side. So you can draw another identical one on this side, or we can select the copy tool, click this object, select enter. I'm going to grab it from the edge and just move it straight over, and then hit enter one more time. So now it's identical on each side. So now all we have to do is draw this center part, which is basically the bolt or connector that goes through the wheel. So I'm going to grab the rectangle tool again, and I'm going to find the center of this shape. If this rectangle is 6, we need to go up to find the center. Or you can, using this drawing, since they're the same height, you can find the center here and move over. So this is the center of that circle. So we need to go up 1 click, and it's going to be a total of 1.0 long. So the easiest way to find this when we're working with this type of dimension, this drawing, everything should line up. So the top of this should line up here. The top of the inner circle should line up. Ooh, should line up. So it looks like my top circle is actually off. Or is it? Oh, no, it's not off. My mouse just moved. Okay, yes, everything should line up. So the top of this circle should line up there. Same with the bottom. So now I'm going to select this, and we just need to go out 0.25. Or just, yeah, 0.25 right there. Oops, I made it too small, so I'm going to select it. Make sure you click the delete button to delete. Go back to my rectangle tool. Remember, it needs to be 0.25 by 0.25. There we go. So this is actually our second drawing. I will post a picture of it with all of the coordinates and the sizes for you guys to follow along. And hopefully this is helpful.